Hello, my beautiful Capricorns. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. In today's video, I will be tapping into the energies of those of you that are currently in a no contact situation. So, as per usual, I will be starting off with an oracle and we can clarify the existing energies with tarot. Okay, what's going on for my Capricorn? Okay, guys, so we have two cards that came out here. We have love, unconditional love, self-love and wholeness, affection and attraction, selflessness, okay? And then we also have self-indulgence, self-worth and value, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. Okay. So Capricorn, this is a very clear message that I'm getting for you guys, okay? There is a situation at hand, okay, where you feel like it has taken a lot from you. You may feel very deprived. You may feel very powerless about the situation, but it's someone that you feel like you've given your all to. Now, this may also be a situation where it was like a catalyst for your growth, or the biggest lesson that I see for you is taking all that energy and putting it and pouring it into yourself. Like, what could feel very difficult about you being in a separation with this person is, this person was a big part of your world, or it's someone that a connection that you had a lot of high hopes for. You may have even been in a higher level of commitment with this person in the past, or it's just, how connected you feel to them, what you were expecting or anticipating for the future. And you may feel very broken that things are not working out the way that you thought they would. But there's like a lesson here, yes, but there's also a huge energetic shift that is taking place for you, because even though things may have felt negative, or you may have felt like, very down when it comes to your energy, there's a lot of positive that has come from this connection, as in now knowing what you're not willing to tolerate, or now being able to set very clear boundaries. But I'm strongly getting a message of this connection almost changing who you are as a person, or aspects of yourself, right? Or just even changing your outlook and your behavior and your perspective when it comes to love specifically. So let's see here. It almost seems to me that some of you feel like you have given all that you possibly could to a connection, and it didn't work out for you. And that could be something that really, caused you to be in a rut for quite some time. It could be something that you're still, as you're watching my read, struggling to make peace with. Okay, Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords. I do see some sort of fast progress when it comes to your finances, or some sort of a change when it comes to a positive change when it comes to your career here. But Eight of Pentacles and Knight of Swords, I mean, you do feel like you have invested a lot of time and energy into this connection, but you also feel like things happened so quickly. You're viewing this individual as someone who has been very inconsistent with you. There may be something in particular that they communicated to you prior to the separation that is still causing you to feel uneasy. Yeah. And what I'm hearing is like, how could you? Right? So, this could be letting me know that you put a lot of trust and hope in this person, where something they communicated to you really threw you off, or you did not expect that from this person at all whatsoever. Okay. So, I'm going to start off by seeing how they are viewing you. Seven of Swords. So Capricorn, there's something here that this person doesn't trust about this situation, or I could read it on the flip side where they are thinking of you, but they may feel like they have some sort of a guilty conscience, right? So Excuse me. So whether it's I know something or I know I was not truthful with Capricorn in the past, and maybe that's something that they want to work towards or that's something that they want to open up about. But I also feel like a very hidden or discreet energy. So this could be someone who's still impacted by you or focused on you, but I also feel like they don't want you to know that. There's like a very secretive or a discreet energy, like I mentioned. Hmm. Now, this person may also feel like there was some sort of strategy behind your communication, or you were able to figure something out about them and they're not sure how, right? So, like, whether it's like a truth or, even if it's something you intuitively felt, or maybe you were able to figure it out maybe through someone and not directly this person, there's something that you were able to figure out about this person. They're not sure how, though. Okay, so we have Page of Cups, and we have the Ten of Wands in the challenge position. Yeah. You have someone who's almost like at a loss for words, or they really don't know how to feel or what to say. Because with the Ten of Wands and the Page of Cups, it's almost like reaching out to you. They feel like they're going to make the situation worse than it currently is. They do want to speak with the Page of Cups, but Ten of Wands is like a very heavy energy, or almost feeling overwhelmed or borderline exhausted just by trying to figure out how to formulate a message or trying to figure out how to open up to someone, after a period of not speaking to them. They could feel like the situation is, becoming very draining because they're constantly thinking about it and constantly wanting to communicate. But a part of them feels like they need to accept what is over with the Ten of Wands. And with those two cards coming up in the challenge position, this connection could have been, smooth sailing until, effort decreased from one end, because the Ten of Wands could also touch on things, starting to feel very one sided. And that could have led to a separation here. How are you viewing them? Nine of Swords. You're very stressed out. You're really up in your mind about this person. You may even feel like, during the course of this bond, there was a lot of stress or worry, that you were dealing with constantly. Like there's a part of you that didn't feel safe in this connection, even if it was nearing the end. So, like, safe emotionally, or just feeling very doubtful or suspicious of this person. But I do feel like this is a situation that is still stressing you out, and you're acknowledging that, there has been a lot of worry in the past, or you've been very stressed out, or you've had cold feet over the situation or this person here. I also feel like with the Nine of Swords, that could also be read as like unnecessary worry, where something could be bothering you, or there could be something in particular that you're still thinking about, whether it's because it happened very recently or it's something that is still impacting you. But I'm strongly getting, Capricorn, that like something is not um, maybe as upsetting, or maybe not as bad as it seems in your mind. So even if it's like overthinking a situation, revisiting something constantly, Nine of Swords could be when you're constantly thinking about something and it's not making you feel the best, but it's not serving you either. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean you have to agree with what has happened, or you don't have a right to feel hurt. But Nine of Swords can easily turn into like, feeding into your pessimistic thoughts, or feeling like you're on some sort of a hamster wheel that's very difficult to get off of, or seems impossible to detach from. So I feel like you're viewing the situation as something that's really stressing you out, and there's something in particular that you're having a difficult time not thinking about. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles, and that's the energy that I was getting, especially with the first two cards, love and self-indulgence, like pouring into yourself, a very independent energy. And then we have the Six of Pentacles as well. So you're going from giving to a situation, nurturing a situation, being entirely invested, to, okay, well, now I have to focus on myself. And that's why it feels very difficult. I'm strongly getting like this is someone that you communicated with very frequently, or they were somehow like they played a very large role in your life. And so, it is something that's very difficult for you to adapt to, but you may feel like this is someone who was neglecting this situation with you. You may be acknowledging that, what, I did not have this person's undivided attention. Ace of Pentacles, yeah. And the King of Pentacles. There's some sort of a new beginning taking place for you. Very stable, something that will make you very happy, something that you initially won't trust because you're going through such a difficult time that you may even doubt the opportunities that are coming towards you. There's like a very defeated or hopeless energy in your feelings. But I do see this as very positive. It may be something that's not visible to you in the current moment, but this situation falling apart is only leading you towards more stability. So this is going to look different for all of you, not for each and every one of you. Is it going to be a new relationship? But it could even just be, relocating, a new job, a new creative endeavor, something that leads to you, connecting with new people or attracting something different for yourself. Because I also see a lot of self development, but also like you're going through a very introspective period here. And like I'm also being called to tell you, Capricorn, that, you know, even if you feel that your efforts were not being acknowledged, or you're not receiving credit, you are like there's something here that you feel this person has not realized, specifically pertaining to the efforts and that you've put towards this connection, but they do realize that. I just feel like what this person is not telling you that, and you're being very hard on yourself. Like, I think there's a very heavy energy stemming from, I did everything. I did everything that I could. So why did I end up here? And I know it could be hard to, kind of understand the things that we're going through while we're going through them. But I do see it leading to something better. I do see you receiving clarity. We have the Seven of Wands clarifying, and the Six of Cups clarifying the Ten of Wands. Page of Cups being clarified by the Seven of Wands. Yeah, very defensive energy here, guys. Like, yes, this is someone who is thinking about what would happen if I were to reach out, but there's something here they're not open and or ready to be open about with that Seven of Wands energy. With the Six of Cups, I feel like this is someone who's missing you tremendously, especially clarifying the Ten of Wands. They're like, you know what? I miss Capricorn so much, to the point where, like, I'm thinking about this connection all the time, but I'm also feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. I don't really know if there's any options out there for me to make things better with Capricorn. And like, as much as they're, feeling defensive or not ready to open up about something, they can't help how they feel. They're still missing you, or there's still a very nostalgic energy of thinking about the past here. But Seven of Wands, with the Ten of Wands, could also be some sort of like a truth that this person's holding on to. And even if you're aware of it, they are refusing to own up to it, or they don't want you to hear it from them. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles in their feelings. The Hermit. Yeah, this person feels or is viewing you as someone who's very isolated, not necessarily, wanting to open up to them, not viewing the situation in the same light. But with those two cards in their feelings, I feel like there's a lot that they're learning about you, Capricorn. There's a lot that they're realizing about you. And I think that I'm reading it hand in hand because we have the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles in your energy. And I was intuitively picking up on you kind of feeling like your efforts were not being acknowledged, right? Or someone wasn't grateful or for, having you in their life. But you have someone here who's realizing your value, Unfortunately, in some circumstances, it does take losing someone or something to realize what you had in front of you all along, right? And I'm getting strongly that this is someone where it's like a lot of things that you have done for this person, or the way that they were able to confide in you, the connection that they felt, how secure you made them feel. That is all being illuminated to them this week. Are they telling you this? No, they're keeping it to themselves with the Hermit card there. Some of you could be dealing with a Virgo. Six of Swords and the Empress. Wow. It almost seems to me that this is someone who's trying to emotionally and mentally detach, but the thought of what could have been is still impacting them with that Empress card. Some of you could be dealing with a Libra or a Taurus. Six of Swords and the Empress could also be like moving towards some sort of like an opportunity where you feel like you could see some sort of growth, or you see some sort of potential here. But what I see is like someone trying very hard to mentally and emotionally detach, but when they think of you or the situation with you, there's a lot of, well, what if? And I also feel like what's not helping the situation is they're remaining held back or keeping it to themselves. You really have someone here who's acknowledging everything that you've done for them and who you were for them to them. But they're realizing this during this separation. You know, you may have been someone who really checks up on them, right? Or you communicate with them frequently. So there's this very empty feeling, in their feelings there. So we have the Knight of Cups and we have the Sun card. Some of you could be dealing with a Leo. What's the Knight of Cups? The Five of Cups, the Sun card, High Priestess. Yeah. I feel like the silence will continue because we have the High Priestess as well as the Five of Cups, which is like dwelling in the past or feeling disappointed but keeping it to themselves. But this person is viewing you as the one that's, you're the one that got away. Or, there's a strong energy of, now I know what I could have had, but I feel like I can't do anything about it in the now. There's a lot of regret. This person feels like they're always going to remember you or the connection with you because it's made a huge impact on them. Knight of Cups and the Sun card could be, I want to apologize, I want to reach out. But the Five of Cups is clarifying the Knight of Cups, which means, yes, there's a part of them that wants to reach out, but there's also a part of them that is very defensive or held back. There's a part of them that feels like, well, this, like, it's almost like things have shattered and I don't know if I can actually pick up the broken pieces and fix it. Okay, so let's see if there is anything they want to communicate. Okay. If I could go back in time, I would handle this differently. And that's that Five of Cups energy. Thinking back to the past and feeling like I could have done this differently. I could have done this, right? So a lot of shoulda, woulda, could have energy. Anything else? Okay. I want out. So this is someone who's not happy with their current reality, but they are, not knowing how to come out of that space. It's almost like they feel very mentally trapped because what they're thinking, how they're feeling, or the regret that they have, they're also not showing. So this may be someone who feels like they're not really living a double life, but even if it's internally, kind of that's the energy that I'm getting, where it's like I'm thinking and feeling a different way from how I'm acting. Okay, so let's see. We have drugs and alcohol, so there could have been addictions that were impacting this connection here. Okay, and it says, I can't do this right now. You have someone who's in a very avoidant energy, right? Where it's like, I also feel like this is someone who is thinking about the situation, of course, impacted by it, but they're also running from maybe something that doesn't feel good, avoiding thoughts that could be crucial for the growth of this connection, but don't feel good to think about in the moment. Like there's a very avoidant energy here, but it's stemming from a place of regret and having to accept, their reality when it comes to the situation here. So let's close this reading with some angel answers. Is there anything Capricorn needs to hear in the current moment? There's something better. And and this is what I was getting from when I opened your reading here. Like even with the two oracle cards, I said this has been a very tough ride. But there's something better. There's a new opportunity waiting for you. And I'm not taking away from how you feel in the current moment, Capricorn. And this may not be something, or it doesn't seem like it's going to change in the current moment. And that's because, you're actively going through it. But there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like there's even a new opportunity that is coming in for you that you're initially going to have a hard time trusting. It's like, there's a part of you that has changed because of this connection, but you may feel like a part of you kind of also came to an end. Like maybe going into this connection, you were like an open book, or you were very trusting of others. And so there may be something that you developed after this connection, like, trust issues. Again, I'm not trying to diagnose any of you. I'm just telling you the energy that I'm feeling here. And then we have look for a sign on the bottom of the deck. Okay. So, my wonderful Capricorns, that is what I'm getting for you this week. I really do hope you were able to find a message that resonated with you here today. And thank you so much for your time.